Okay, welcome back. So if you've done everything I said, you will now have a nice little square with 4 corners and even sides. Mine looks a little uneven, and that's not uncommon with crochet, but one of the nice things about crochet is that it's yarn and it's flexible, and you can stretch it, pull it, and shape it. So I can kind of pull and stretch and make it look as even as possible. So there it is. So now when you have finished your piece of work, now if you don't like what you did, remember, you can pull it all out and start over. You don't ever have to settle for what you've made if you think it isn't done right. But when you get a piece and you say, yes, that's done, I like it, and I don't want to redo it, then you just finish it off. So let's go back to our hook. So when you reach that last stitch, you've slip stitched your last stitch to your first stitch to finalize your row. Then to end your work, you keep your needle in there, keep the yarn pulled tight, and you take your scissors and you cut an inch or so away from your needle, and then you take that little tail and you yarn over with it and you pull it through that last loop, and then I can't show you this one twice because I've cut it now, and then you just pull it tight to lock it in place, and now you have a little tail sticking up. And you can stop there if you're going to sew this square to another square, because that tail can be tucked away later. But if you're going to stop here, and this is a final product, for example, this could be a coaster for your daddy's tea, then you want that tail to go away. So you take your crochet hook, and working on the back of your work, of your crochet, you slide your needle, your hook, underneath just the top loops of a couple of stitches on the back. So I've slid it under, but you see you cannot see my needle, my hook on this side, because I only went through the top loops of yarn. So I did a couple, and then I'm going to grab my little tail and I'm going to tuck it into the hook, turn to lock it in there, and pull the tail through those loops. And now the tail is tucked away inside, and when you look at my work from the front, you can no longer see that little tail. Now, you may recall we had a little tail when we started out, and there it still is in the middle. It kind of got shorter because it got locked underneath. You can do the same thing with this tail. So slide your needle under the top loops of a couple of stitches. You got to be careful that you're only going through now this one's kind of tight, so it's hard, but make sure you're going under just the top loops. And the way you know if you're going under just the top loops is you turn your work over and you look, and oh, I did go through a bottom loop right there, but you shouldn't be able to see your needle, your hook. I'm okay with that. Then you just yarn through the tail and pull it through all the loops. And voila, tail is tucked. And then the last thing, I'm going to tuck this tail a little bit more. It's sticking out some still. Okay, tail's all tucked. You shape, get it to just the right shape, and then you say, look, Dad, I made you a coaster. Ta-da! Good job!